Who would make it, sir?
Preparing the live stream now. So we just have to make sure we switch me to post also. Okay, we're live.
I just hope that when Tom comes in, because this is now not showing.
Tom Oldmeyer coming in?
Tom hadn't heard.
Oh, Tom.
I'll monitor it, Lori. It should turn on.
Okay.
You ready? We'll bring the meeting order. All rise and say the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Finley,
Here. Yes.
trustee Mitchell, trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Jacobiac,
Yes, sorry.
trustee Weir. Trustee Weir.
Next, motion to accept the minutes and finance report, pay the bills.
Make a motion.
Second.
Trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell, trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Jacobiac,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
Yes.
We need a motion to amend the modify the agenda for public works for the sewer plant project and make change orders.
Second.
We made one.
Scott made it, I second.
Trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell,
Yes.
trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Jacobiac,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
Yes.
So we'll just go through the change order. Change order number one is Jefferson Street Pump Station revision, an extra of 38,074.41. Change order number one for Linden Street Pump Station, revised price is credit of 13,798.63. So in reality, the net gain is going to be 67,849.46. So that's what the change order is about.
Need a motion.
We need a motion to accept the change orders.
Make motion.
Second.
I got started. Trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell,
Yes.
trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Jacobiac,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
Good.
Richard, you're up.
You want to do all these?
Fire department last month ran 34 calls. 2 of them were structure fires. One was a false alarm. The other one was a mixture between good intent calls and medical calls. I did turn in a quote for my last big purchase of the budget, was for 5 sets of fire gear and $19,510.
$510 or $150?
19,150.
19,150?
Yeah.
Okay.
That suits 5 guys, head to toe, new helmets, new boots, no max gloves. So,
Need a motion to pay that. Who's that to? From Alexis?
yes,
Okay.
from Alexa.
We need a motion to pay Alexis for that.
I'll make a motion.
Trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell,
Yes.
trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Jacobiac,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
Yes.
Your turn, but
The ambulance service ran for summons 85 times last month, with 29 during the daytime in Tilton, dropped 14 of those. 10 during the nighttime in Tilton, we dropped 8 of those. Tilton went to Oakwood 12 times, mutual aid for other requests other than Oakwood. We did 16, or had 16 requests. Mutual aid provided other than Oakwood, we did 9 out of 16. Mutual aid dropped for other than Oakwood, which was 7. We were busy on 3 of the calls of Tilton, that's why we couldn't respond to them, that we had to call somebody else in. And we disregarded 3 times to Oakwood. I was been made aware that all the departments, fire, police, EMS, and public works have to start wearing the high vis vest whenever they're working in a room.
yes.
2880.
2880 for police, fire, EMS, and public works. That's from ROM Equipment. We need a motion to do that.
So moved.
You gotta give them your size though, but.
That's what TJ just told me.
Yeah.
They won't let us wear them in the office.
Trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell,
Yes.
trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Kubiak,
Yes.
trustee Ware.
All right.
The Tahoe Ghost Strip of OSF. It's been gone through, all the drugs have been updated. The narcotics are getting updated tomorrow or the next day. All the equipment's there, all the paperwork has been completed and submitted to IDPH to relicense that as a Tilton flight car, paramedic level. Bob Holloway has gave all the drugs to Tilton, as well as the narcotics. We just have to do the paperwork on that. All the equipment that's in it that is of significant amount of money, he is allowing us to use that until we can replace it ourselves. No time limit on that. So I'm just waiting on the paperwork to come back from the state. I'm gonna take it down and get a quote on having lettering put on it, the same as what, basically what the police department has and what the fire EMR unit has also. So everything will be kind of the same design, just a different color. And we're waiting on the plumber for the toilets. Still can't turn the toilets on at the station or it floods the station. All the molding around the bottom of the walls is starting to come off because of the flooding. And you can see the studs now. Bottom of the walls are pretty much toasted on all of them on the inside. I know this is old news. Any idea, anybody heard anything from Ribby about the drain that's in the floor out?
No, that, you never fixed it yet?
No, they've never.
Okay,
fixed it.
okay. I'll call.
I'll call
Yeah, well, we may not want it fixed right now anyway. I got other plans.
I think that's all I got.
Okay,
Any questions for me?
I don't think so, unless you got a question. Huh? Oh, hey, but where's babies come from?
When you find.
Don't tell me.
I think your wife told me to say that.
During your time, Butch, they need to open up any of those walls, I mean, where that's been, so they won't.
I think
You're gonna
you're-
ask Garrett where they come from.
I think that's probably a discussion for the mayor outside of this meeting.
Opening up like the walls,
Oh,
so you get some air to them, so they won't get mold and stuff in them.
we had big fans in there and still molding.
Yeah, they had
Newton. done
big
all
fans in there. They had, the, thing to take the moisture out of the air. They had two of those that were running in there and it was just too wet.
that.
They had all that running for a week. Oh, and both ambulances are up and running.
Oh,
There's no problems over the last week.
So just, no.
Night.
Watch tomorrow.
Shush. You're one.
TJ's up.
A lot of routine grass, cleaning, maintenance of the buildings, servicing of the equipment, squad cars. The totals for Winter Wonderland this year was 2,990 cars. We made $526 in donations from the people coming through it. All the displays are now put away for the year. We had an emergency repair for the dump truck that went down during the first event of the year.
Go figure.
Parts was $3,715.36 from Rush Truck Center. Labor was $849.41, brings the total to $4,564.77. The mayor emergency approved that for the repair to get the truck back on the road, which is now back in the shop and fixed. I wanted to put surplus our old snow plow that we have sitting that came off the 550. I talked to water people and they suggested a minimum bid about $700 on it.
Get pictures of them.
And we have pictures. I got the information and everything on the plow too.
Did we try to bid that out a few years
No,
ago?
not yet.
No, yeah, we just replaced that last year.
We tried to do that topper off that truck.
Yeah, I thought we had a plow too.
No,
No.
one of them was scrapped.
We had 2 snow ice events this year. The first one, January 8th, was an ice event. Then the 15th, we had that small snow event with a total hours of 14.5 hours between the 2 events. We had 19 Julies, 2 after-hours call-outs, which was for the 2 snow ice events, and 2 work orders.
So we need to have a motion to put the cloud.
Oh, yeah, yeah, sorry, yeah, we do have, yeah.
And
We need a motion to surplus the plow,
at 700,
yeah.
Say the amount.
I'll make a motion.
at $700 minimum bid. You got second, Ryan?
Yeah.
Trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell, trustee Sheets.
Yeah.
Trustee Wescoviac,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
We don't get that, I mean, we're not, it's not hurting nothing, just holding around there.
Yeah,
dropping
yeah,
later if we
no
have to.
doubt.
Do we need to do the motion on the emergency order to pay that rush?
No,
Letting them aware of it then.
Are you ready for me?
guess who's next?
Big spender.
Yeah.
Start with, appreciate the effort that was made last month and approval of the tasers because we were on a time crunch with the bid and price changes coming on. I believe it's about 30 more days.
January 1st.
When they arrive.
Yeah, right, 30 more days.
Okay, so we're still a month out, to 2 months out on getting them. They have been ordered though. For the month of November, it was like 390 calls, December 369. Year end was a total of 1,913 calls in the village. During that time, we ended up for the year with 230 PNTs. Guys have been busy, over 500 citations issued, almost 200 warnings. Also included in here, I've added for you guys to look over and send to legal,
The bicycle.
Danville's bicycle ordinance that we could add to our ordinances. Some of the issue gives us a little more heat to deal with some of the people on bikes at night when they're out and about.
Well, you're also dealing with people doing drug wrangling, like
Well, exactly where I'm going with that, yeah. So we can have a little more,
impound,
well, yeah,
take your means of
gives us
transportation.
more right to get out with them. They have to identify themselves because it's a violation then. Heck, we can even arrest them on it technically and search them if you want to push that far.
I mean, we'll just come right out and say it, because then they can go on foot. That way, they can't run themselves.
There you go. So that's up for you guys to review and send to legal.
We done the weight limit too,
I don't know.
the weight limits for trucks.
Oh,
Okay.
shoot, I need to send that.
We done, we done wait for, change it to the city ordinance for weights. Because Clay said he'd weigh them and then we could write
Oh, yeah, you
citations.
spoke to me about that the other day.
Not state law, but our own ordinance.
Yeah, our own ordinance,
He said he'd inspect and then we could write the weight limit.
and then we can collect the fines of
Yep.
our ordinance.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. Also, the mayor, I did put in for the mayor approved, with adding the new cars to the fleet, we were short 2 sets of stop sticks for about $900, $930 for the 2 sets. And then putting the sedan back in service finally, adding the radar unit to it at the same as the price when we redid the other units at $1,800, which was approved by the mayor. And on the prior approval, we're finally up to the 7th officer. We've brought on board Amy Cobus, who's here tonight.
We need to do these motions.
Huh?
You're gonna motion we need a motion to submit the bicycle.
Oh, yeah,
For what?
bicycle ordinance,
Oh, I'll make
so we can send it to the lawyers.
a second. Just so everybody knows, Phil, that also covers the ones that sent the motor.
Yep, yes.
Well, yeah, somewhat, but we'll start there, and if we need to add more, we can. They still have to register them and everything, so,
Yeah, no, that's what I meant, even the ones with the motor.
yes, because it's bicycle.
If they say it's not a bicycle, it's a motorcycle, then that's what I think.
Well, if it is, if you ain't careful, they can sit there and go on pedaling this and they ain't using the motor.
Trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell, trustee Sheets.
Yeah.
Trustee Sokoviac.
Yes.
Trustee Weir. You have to motion the taser purchase.
Yes.
Okay, we need a motion for the taser purchase.
Second.
Trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell, trustee Sheets.
Yeah.
Trustee Sokoviac,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
Yes.
Now you can continue. Huh?
Amy Kubis.
Kubis?
So I've appointed Amy Kubis as a police officer. She probably didn't even know it, but she is. And we need to affirm her to be a police officer, and then we'll swear her in.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Hold on. I had blocked it out because you said no, but. Trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell, trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Sokoviac,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
You ready?
Yep.
Come on up here. Show yourself.
Repeat after me. I, Amy Kubis,
I, Amy Kobus,
do solemnly affirm to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly affirm to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States,
and the state of Illinois
the state of Illinois,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the Village of Tilton
the duties of the Village of Tilton
Police Department,
Police Department,
of which I'm about to enter.
of which I'm about to enter.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
She made all that up too, Amy, so you know.
I got it offline. I got it online. All right.
All right, Dip, you're next.
Okay, so we, at our last board meeting in November, had talked about revising the budget, and I had a revised budget for everybody. Well, I had to revise it again. So we need to put it on display for 30 days
Again.
again. And everybody should have a copy of it in their budget. If they have any questions or anything like that, call me.
The one we had is the revised.
The one that was in is the revised.
Okay.
Yes. I had to revise it again because of a few different things. And we can talk about that if anybody wants to.
Need a motion to revise the budget, revise the budget.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Sheets.
Yeah.
Trustee Mitchell, trustee Sokoviac,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
Committee reports. Ryan?
You want to do anything with Splash, but you.
On, what was that, Tuesday, we met with, a company out of Northern Illinois called Imagine Parks. We're planning on doing the splash pad up at Thomas Park. Met with that company, had a really good meeting. The actual, equipment they sell is from, what did they say, British Columbia, Canada. But they're based out of Northern Illinois, so, still going through somebody local. We're gonna get the final dimensions set next week, get those sent off. She's gonna start getting some planning together. Once we figure out exactly what we want, we'll have a cost. Once that cost and we agree, they'll put actual animations together, so we'll be able to see exactly what each one of the water spigots do, what the kids do when they run around. That's about all we have to report there. We're just waiting on some technical things and then we'll probably,
It's
moving on.
I
I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about the,
Well, would it be something,
We can only do that.
the animated side of it, would it be something you could put on the website?
yeah, so like, once we have a design set and it's ready to go, they'll release it to us and they create marketing stuff so we can kind of get the community hyped about it. So they'll know exactly how it's gonna look. I mean, the plans will be down to detail and they'll animate that. So it'll look exactly like the park will look when it's fully functional. I don't know if you want to mention a little bit about the sewer meeting that we had. The sewer meeting we had.
I'll leave that to the mayor.
Oh, come on.
Well, I don't know what all the mayor wants to involve on the sewer meeting, I'll put it that way.
We pretty much done the change orders, so that's pretty much what we had to discuss.
Rest of it just briefing more.
Yeah, update stuff.
Biggest thing is we're saving a little bit of money.
Yeah.
So,
We actually cut down on eliminating some demolishing lift stations and we're gonna use them for emergency use and the big lift station will be in line. So that's what the cost savings was about. And the change order for the pipe increase was because of we had to wait and TJ had to wait to order until he knew he got the job. So the price went up. All the pipe, of course, everything made by oil.
Oh, did you want to bring up about all the FOIAs that you're getting hit with because of the sewer plant?
We've been getting a lot of FOIAs requests from all the unions about the sewer plant because it's a non-union company working over there. So we've been sending them what we can. And I hope they're getting happy finally. So we're implementing safety policies as we speak because I'm figuring the next call is going to be OSHA calling. They're calling, the union will call OSHA. So, yep.
Hey, Ryan, can you check to see if Tom's in yet?
oh,
Yeah, he's next.
No, no. Just want to make sure.
I assume this is him.
The Lucas device is on there.
Say down there.
Tom, are you there?
There, he's there. You got your voice on?
I might have to unmute him.
Yeah, you might.
Okay, is that better?
All right. Yeah.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Tom.
Okay. So I wanted to report on our meeting that we had. We had it in December, then we spoke about it again here in January. And upon review of the property, everybody on the planning commission voted to not pass the variance on King Street for the Linda Deffenbaugh to sell flowers. And it was based on the current condition of the property.
Where the hell is he at? Oh, right. Up to you guys, it's up to them. You can overturn them.
Too many structures on there or something?
Several structures not completed as well. Some of it looks like it needs to be painted. And the biggest concern was, there's so many houses that look really nice along there now after the storm. People fix up their places and it really kind of stands out at this point. I think if they cleaned it up, it does need some dressing. There are several units on the property. I don't know that that's so much the problem as getting it cleaned up, making it look presentable in the neighborhood.
So why don't we just give them time and then give them time to clean it up?
Yeah, and revisit the issue,
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
but that's good.
Is that okay with you, Tom? Give them time to clean it up and then if you guys feel it's satisfied, then we'll pass the variance.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's what I'd say we do. You're not gonna paint anything in the winter time.
No,
Okay, that's what we're gonna do, Tom. We'll just kind of table it and if they clean it up, that you're satisfied, your group's satisfied, then you can pass it.
Okay, sounds good, Dave.
Thank you very much.
So she's not
Okay.
gonna be able to.
We'll send them a letter, make sure they gotta get it cleaned up too, Tom.
Okay, I will pass it along to the rest of the people on the commission. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
She won't be able to sell anything in the spring.
I know, that says you need to get it done.
Yeah, if she wants to stay.
Yep. The Lucas device is on the agenda too, you guys. Richard, the Lucas device is out of the fire department budget. What do you think?
Well,
You just spent 19,000.
yeah, I kind of, was not made aware of what was all going on with this, so, it's not that I don't want it. I just think with our OSHA audit and other things that are coming up, that if we're gonna spend that kind of money, we need to get some more air packs or some more gear for the guys that are actually on the trucks, so.
Didn't you say something to me about when OSHA came through, did that inspection that they?
Yes, we did get dinged on some air packs, which we took that out of service. That was, we kind of got ahead of ourselves and we ordered some air packs that were remanned.
Yeah,
And
refurbished.
they were supposed to be 4 fire departments and OSHA come in and said you can't use them because they just piece them together, and so we had to take them out of service. So that put us a lot farther behind than what we thought we were going to be on our, I can't think what it's called now, where they test them every year. We
Right.
got to have them tested every 5 years.
Hydrostatic.
Hydrostatic testing, and we're there last, we can do it 3 times, and this is the last year that we can
And
do it.
that's on all the fiber bottles, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we're replacing them all with Scots, and we were down to where we just had to do 1 engine. Well, when when OSHA come in, they said we couldn't use them reman bottles. We had to take all them completely out, and which we bought those this year. And then we talked to Dave, or I talked to Dave, and we come up with a decision that we were gonna replace them this year, and next year we were gonna replace the last engine, and then we'd be all caught back up. And, so that's just where we're at with the air packs and the gear. You replace it as as you can, so you can't.
Yeah.
The only way you're gonna replace it all is to get a grant, because, and that's where we were at with a lot of it, is we've got grants with the air packs, and they're all due at the same time, so. And same way with the gears, it's all expired in the same time, so if we don't start buying a little bit each year, then we'll never get ahead of it, so.
Can I say something? Okay, so I applied for that small tools and equipment grant for the state, but then I was told that I shouldn't have applied because what was the reason?
I can't remember what they said.
Who told you that?
I
you
can't
shouldn't
remember
apply.
I can't remember who said that.
That you weren't caught up on your reports or
reports, yeah.
something like that.
No, when we switched to ESO was supposed to import all of ours to the state, and the state didn't notify us that they weren't getting imported. And you call the state and they blame ESO, you call ESO and they blame the state, but we did get everything caught back up.
Okay.
Okay.
The fire
Well, I
department, the fire department had to renew their
Yeah,
ID and password through the state, which they never did do
right.
on a regular basis, so that way.
So we can
So
reapply
I
this
can
year?
reapply.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
that's good.
They were all there, they were all getting done, they just weren't getting imported like we thought they were.
And,
Okay.
and if you want to get me another quote like that one,
Yes.
we could send it in,
Yep.
you know?
This quote goes up as of February 1st. Another 10, no, February 1st.
90 days from December.
The salesman I talked to said February 1st, it goes up another, I know what's in there.
Well, what I'm saying is you got
That day's 30.
prices in effect for 90
Yeah.
days. I mean, he gave it to you, so it'll put you.
Yeah. But the reason I quoted for this, and I tried to talk to Richard a few times, but we never got a chance to. We run a lot of medical calls in this unit. Our ambulance isn't available all the time. The Lucas device saves lives. So that's why I put in the quotes. we can find the money somewhere.
I had a meeting with Butch and Richard, and we discussed it. And, you know, with being Richard's department, his thought was needing the bunker gear and air packs sooner than he would need a Lucas device. His needs and wants, and although it is an awesome thing to have.
Being the squad runs 294 calls a year and the fire truck runs 50. I understand we need the equipment on both sides. We need fire equipment and we need the EMS equipment. So,
Well, but at one time, is there a need for a third Lucas device? I hate to put you on the spot, but you're kind of the,
So I went back and I looked. And I looked at the fire department side and I looked at the ambulance side. And I ran reports. And what I come up with is probably not 100% accurate because the fire department's not doing the reports the way they should be doing it. That would entail giving me the stats that I need on their side. I know of I have documented 6 times that the Lucas device was needed. The fire department did not show up on 1. The fire department beat the ambulance on 1, and the ambulance was first on the scene on the others. So if you look at data, no. If you look at, would it be a lifesaver? Yes. But for the comment to say that the ambulance doesn't show up,
no,
let me talk. You had your moment, let me have my moment. For you to say that the ambulance is not only staffed and doesn't show up, that you run 200 calls, we run 875 calls a year. All your medicals do not need a Lucas device. Go back and do a stat and see how many times you would need it. How many times would you beat the ambulance on the scene? That's where that's a lot of money. And I'm not saying that the fire department don't deserve it by any means. But in talking to Bob and Richard, what they need is more important than the Lucas device. Yes, the Lucas device saves life, but the Lucas device is a luxury. It's not a need. We've been doing CPR by hand for how many years, and we continue to do CPR by hand. We just had a cardiac arrest the other day. We did 15 minutes of CPR by hand before we ever put him on Lucas. Because if you go and you look in through the EMS office, the EMS office says, who guides us, who gives us our license, you shouldn't be putting that Lucas on within the first 2 or 3 minutes. You should be doing a hands-on CPR. So I am in agreement with Richard, being the deputy chief of the fire department, that fire equipment is needed for the firefighters so that they can go in to fight a fire and possibly save a life, and hopefully that the ambulance service is there. Do we respond on every call? No. Neither does the fire department, neither does the EMR unit. So that's where I'm at with it.
We just feel it's a want, not a need.
I'm not saying it's out of the question, Scott.
Yeah.
At this time, I think it needs to be reevaluated to a later date.
Once we get some of the major purchases cut.
But I'm not a voting member, so.
from what I've heard from the bodies, I want to make a suggestion that we table the Lucas device and indefinitely until one could be purchased.
I'll second that.
You don't have to vote on the table, right?
Yeah. You want to make it legal.
Trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell. What'd you say? Trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Washkoviak,
yes.
trustee Weir.
Yes, Richard, can you make sure that whoever's doing them runs does the paperwork right so he has a legit staff? So, well, that way there, if this comes up again, he can be more definite on yes, no,
Yes, we will.
please. Thank you.
Federal cost.
Yeah, Lucas said.
And I don't mean to throw you under the bus. Rick.
No, it's,
But I've talked about it to people before, and it's not being done.
right, and there's just so many choices that they can choose that are close to the right ones,
But they're not they're not going through all their tabs.
okay.
And that's the problem, because
Can
when
we
you
make
go
the
to
tabs mandatory?
it has to be mandatory.
So they're
It's
just clicking the
EMS
wrong
call.
tab? No,
The EMS tab
right,
is not being filled out by
so
anybody.
they're not clicking the EMS tab.
No.
But that way there, he gets the information, so something like this, he can verify that he's there for stuff.
Because there you can pick cardiac arrest.
I got a question for you, Butch.
Yes.
Is that Lucas device, is it required that EMT run it?
There's no
License
certification for it. But I strongly suggest, being the EMS division chief for Village of Tilton, that whatever it's on, the people that respond with that unit be at least CPR certified. Because you don't want somebody that's not CPR certified trying to put a piece of equipment on somebody that doesn't need to be there.
They need to be trained on it too.
They need to be trained then.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everybody's trained when you get it, they would be trained to use it, but I think that if we do this at some point, that we make a policy in the fire department that says that you can't go on that unit unless you are CPR certified.
Because they can be just as dangerous.
It can kill you.
As they are
Life saving,
life-saving.
yes.
That's what I thought.
How much is it?
Huh?
21,000.
And
21,280.
the way we're progressing with everything in this village, hopefully sometime in the future, we're not gonna have to worry about ambulance shortages because things are going on in Danville and the surrounding area that may help us. That where if the fire department does go there, they'll only be there a couple minutes doing CPR before the ambulance does get there.
One of the bad things about it is, I don't want to say it's a bad thing, but there's only two agencies in the county that have them. And that's Georgetown and us. None of the other agencies have them.
Georgetown can kind of be understandable because of their distance.
Right. And with us going as far as county line to county line is why
The
we
squads
looked
have,
at buying.
that's why the squads have.
Yes, because we could respond to the northern part, the southern part, east and west, which we do, we have.
Okay.
We need to repay IDOT some money, $161,064.32.
Still we do by the bridge.
No, yeah, we overpaid.
They said they overpaid us.
Yeah, they said, they tried to say we overpaid them, but
And then they closed the project
Yeah,
and wouldn't let us submit any more
Yeah.
invoices.
yeah. So we need to repay
Yeah, we
IDOT
bought
back.
the bridge.
No, Ramp Road.
Wait a minute. Now, I'd have to say that if they want that money, we need to find a determination on that property.
There you go. I agree 100%. No,
I'll just tell Brian Trey, you guys voted it down. I mean, seriously, I don't care. I don't have a problem taking it.
No, what I'm saying is we
They
know,
can't pay us.
we know there was a bill in the legislation for that property to get turned over to us. It disappeared, which
Yeah.
you verified, you called up Moran's office to find out what's going on.
And they haven't called me back.
Now all of a sudden there wasn't money. Now, I'll tell you what, tell us what's up with this property over here that we've been dealing with for 2 years.
no, hell no, 2017.
Oh, okay.
That when we tore, that when he come to us?
That's when it started, 2017.
And the worst part about it is we got a business waiting on this property. Which creates tax dollars for them. So if they're worried about money, they ought to get the business in there so they get the tax money from it. I'm not saying we won't pay them, but until they come up with an answer, we want,
I agree.
I agree.
So we'll
Nope.
Just hold
hold
to
it until,
I'm not holding it back from them. I just want an answer before we turn the money over.
there you go.
This, because that's IDOT's property. IDOT's wanting this money. Okay, IDOT, tell us what happened to this bill that disappeared out of the House of Representatives that was put in there.
Tell them we'll repay them for that property.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, I argued with the guy and I was like,
Yeah.
I want you to send me everything you have and he's like, well, it might take some time, I'm gonna have to go, we're all working from home, so I'm gonna have to go through some databases. And he sent me some things, I mean,
No, we're not playing that game.
Yeah.
No, if he don't have legit numbers, we don't want to pay it anyway.
yeah.
Need a motion not to pay IDOT until they get an answer for this property.
I'll make the
Picking on
motion
us.
that we suspend payment until we find out what's going on.
I'll second if you need a second.
Trustee Finley? Trustee Mitchell? Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Sokoviak?
Yes.
Trustee Weir?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, let me get this typed in before I forget it.
Get rid of it.
Was it tabled
Yeah,
until,
it's suspended until we hear about the property.
Yeah,
Got
till we get an answer about what they're gonna do, when they're gonna do it at least.
And they actually get legit numbers to us.
Yeah. You got my number? Give it to him. I ain't got it, bro. I'll be with them January 6 people. I'll be in a jail somewhere.
Come on, not really.
I already got my beard
I'll
started.
bill you out.
Public. Anybody in the public have anything? Joe?
Yeah, I was just going to give you a brief update on what's happened with the Tilton pollution prevention and drainage since the November meeting. On December 1st, I looked at the main river discharges where your storm sewers discharge in. The main thing that was obvious was the washout down by the ballpark, and it's on IDOT's right of way. The hole's getting worse. Well, that led me up to the meeting with that Curry Engineers, and they're working on some drainage with some of the engineering groups along I-74, the interstate, for a project that's coming up. So we met, went over the maps where the village's facilities are, and they marked up their maps. And then we went out in the field and looked at the discharge down on First Avenue. And then I walked them back to the one by the park. I explained to them I didn't want to get that opened up to encourage people to go down there because there's some soil where it's kind of undermined and things. But the pictures don't show how big the hole is down there, but they saw it firsthand. And so they took a look at that. Then on January 8th, I went around again this year and took a look at 69 dumpster sites throughout the village. I've been seeing some areas where there's been some trash. So I made a map of some of those areas. Mayor, I'll leave this report with you.
Okay.
And I took a picture of each one of the dumpster sites, and then I've used the county GIS to kind of highlight in where those dumpsters are located. So,
Some of them got done, didn't they?
yeah, there were actually some enclosures and some improvements actually, but of the 69 dumpster sites, 31 or 45% did not have the lids closed, and 54 of them, or 65%, didn't have a secondary enclosure. But there were some improvements. Calvary Baptist Church looks like they put in another enclosure, but haven't put the dumpster
They did
there
not
yet.
store down the street.
So there's a report. It has some recommendations in there. You can take a look at
Okay.
that. Get an opportunity, Mayor, and we can talk about that.
Okay.
I went through the website too and kind of looked at some things I got with Ryan on that earlier, and where we had the leak proof, the containers was a little old, so I generated a new one because your guys' dumpster site looked really nice when I came by, where you have your gates closed and your dumpsters in there. That's right here at Village Hall. And so years ago, I caught a picture of a truck pulling an old, it was hauling a dumpster out of town that had the bottom of it was rusted out. That's the kind of thing. But anyway, I put some language in here about how you can help reduce litter and trash pollution, and that requiring the secondary enclosures around the dumpsters, and then ensure solid waste dumpsters are contained and leak proof, seal bags and closed trash can lids, keep truck beds clean and freed of trash so that doesn't blow out when you're driving down the road, tarp and secure trucks and trailer loads prior to hauling on the roads. And then, well, taking your garbage out to your garbage can, you want to kind of avoid when it's windy or windy days, so that prevents that from blowing out and around it. And well, volunteering for cleanups. I don't know. I know you've got a lot of paper there. But there's a copy.
We got garbage companies that don't cover loads up and have cops chasing them all over town.
And the landfill being so close with the trucks coming through town, trying to make sure that they're not leaking solid waste on the way to the scales.
No, it actually happened, Joe. That's why I said that. Everybody's back there in the back row laughing.
Yeah. And so also trying to get the citizens to use the wash facilities. You have 3 of them here in town. The auto selfie, the Mach 1 car wash and then the Tilton car, truck and pet wash. And so I've updated the report on it to go on the website. And so I don't have a contact information for the auto selfie folks. I had the email and then TJ down there, I can get a hold of him.
He's got an email like
Yeah,
storage,
he sold that
something,
thing.
storage.
Yeah, it's a new name. It's a new name on the auto selfie, but there's, I was gonna try to get to the update. So here's where those fit in on the website report too.
Okay.
I'll email those over to Ryan.
Okay.
And Ryan said he'd help get that updated. And then there's a storm sewer. Originally, I talked about smoking all this, but with the virus and everything, I thought through it. There's a couple of manholes on this line that are surcharged when I look at those usually. And then when I come down the stream, this is down by Coach Light in Glendale, this
Yeah.
line comes in. It doesn't seem like there's as much water coming out of this as for as big as the watershed that gets to it, and the manholes are surcharged. So I left them out with TJ also on that, Mayor, and
Okay.
some are available. Maybe this manhole is buried up on Morrison and Glendale,
Yeah.
but it's at the corner. It's easy to find with the metal locator. It's about 6 inches below grade. Getting that line cleaned out and looking at that with a camera, I think,
Yeah.
Might
That's
help.
one we talked about.
yeah, but I took the smoke in the sewers out of it, the sanitaries for now, just because,
Well, you know they ain't gonna be able to do that till spring.
okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get in there
Cold weather
quick.
and the pumps on them tractors.
Yeah.
You're right, the water on the vectors, it's tough. I'm just hoping that more water will come out the end of that pipe and relieve your system during these big rains. And so that brings me up to the salt quantity. So I had salt tons. What we said in the notice of intent with the drainage is we were gonna kind of chart what we're doing with salt so we can kind of think a lot about it. And I had the records from 2009 to 2016, and I've charted what the prices were, how many tons they were. And TJ was gonna see if he could get with somebody on penciling in what we've done since 217 up until 221. And then we can kind of start keeping track for how much salt we're using and
Okay.
lane miles. If we know how many lane miles, then we'll know it. If not, measure it in the GIS. We
Okay.
can start figuring out how many tons per lane mile that is on these snow events.
That'd be a good
See,
idea.
thing of it is, during snow, we average only 13 events a year.
Okay.
And that's from working at the city, doing all them reports. We average out, there's only about 13 events a year. So we've got 2 out of the way, so we ain't got that many more to go.
Yeah, I recognize salt is tricky. The operators have a lot of different conditions to deal with, and you've got speed and amounts. I recognize that, but also trying to reduce it helps budgets and kind of is better for the environment too. So we've got to find a way to keep it safe, but be environmentally sound too there.
Oh, we get enough salt down in sewers, don't see the roof die.
Isn't that true? And that cattle guard down there on East West Lane, when you look over the bridge to the north there where it goes over Great Creek, I wrote another letter and I took a picture. There wasn't a lot of garbage down there this time. It's kind of a nice spot where it catches things, but I wrote another letter and I'm going to drop that off to him on the way home there.
Okay.
And here's what it all says. And basically, there's a cable and some sheet. I think it's a cattle guard, but I'd like him to call me so we can discuss what the
You want it
purpose
on
is.
Ross Lane?
Yeah, I have it as that
Okay.
lock there on there. And then the next item that I have is we're required to do training as a village. And so I gave the sheet to TJ. Last year we did 8 videos. So I've really looked at a lot of videos online and I found 8 new ones. And so on here, you should be able to click the link on my computer. I'll probably email this out even to the public officials here because the first video is MS4 for elected officials. So that's your separate sewer systems. And then it talks about why it's important. It's some people down in Indiana, some communities that are about like Tilton, but they talk about what issues they've had. And it was a good video. And I think that video and the second one, the NPDES refresher course, kind of gives some summaries of what's required with the MS4. And so I know I've talked about these things a lot, but these 2 videos I think are good for the elected officials. And then the other videos on here, the stormwater management basics, those are good. I have a video in here about the dead zone. That's a hypoxic zone where the water's going down to the Mississippi River and creating a big algae bloom, and it's causing some ecosystem problems down there with the fishing and things. And then video 5 for the public works crew specifically is a refresher of the videos from last year's excerpts from that series. Then there's a video in here about litter prevention, parks maintenance, and stormwater protection for employee training. this is kind of humorous, that 7 one, they had me laughing a couple, they had an engineer there
Yeah, we
checking,
listened to that video.
measuring the height of the grass behind the lawnmower. and
Was it
Huh?
you?
They had no discharges on it, they had plates on the side of the mower to keep it on the site, so. I've got a pile of these, because I'd like to do a count of how many people are looking, so if you get your name and the date, and I'll email these to you, and then I'll leave this pile here, Mayor, is a copy of that for you, and then TJ, when you guys watch
Yeah,
this,
sign it.
get those back, you can report on that. So that's what's happened. What I'll be doing next is, I got with TJ about getting the copies of the sanitary maps and storm sewer maps, so I can update the CAD systems and get them a revised book for everything that happened last year. And then I need to do an inspection of the public works facility down here and start preparing for a map in the future. I think it'd be a good idea to do a topography of that site down there where all the floor drains go out to the sewer plant and different things, and how the water runs off the site, and whether that can be mimicked in nature before it hits nature there to purify it. We talked about the salt quantities, and then I need to do a public meeting. Probably be best to do that by the end of this month of February. So we'll have to advertise again for that. I think last time I held it at the,
We'll have it here.
you want to have it here? Do you have a date or a time that you guys would prefer to do that?
Sure, enough time.
End of February.
In February, yeah, anytime really coming up.
To give enough notice.
Yeah. It would need to, I'll usually try to advertise in the newspaper, so that takes a couple of weeks to get that organized.
1 week. That's fine. Okay. Monday night.
20th.
Oh, no, you can't do that, right? Somebody in here Monday.
Yeah, tops.
So-
Tops is in here on Monday.
So it has to be the 25th.
That's Friday.
No, Saturday. 24th is fine. Is that a holiday?
We could make it a holiday.
What kind of holiday would it be?
I don't know.
Oh, President's Day.
Ain't no holiday.
24th.
24th.
24th of February,
Yeah.
what time?
Can't wait.
Probably have to be in the evening, let's say,
All I
6
don't know
o'clock.
where it
So the
exists.
24th at 6 o'clock.
It was not snowing.
Okay. I'll try to get that organized and
Okay.
advertised.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just send me a copy of it.
I will, okay, thank you.
Anybody else from the public? Ryan?
Well, I don't have nearly as much as that is, but I do have to say, I appreciate all you guys to get our department up to where it's at. And I do have to say also that this, Miss Cobus here is the first full-time female officer that we've had.
Yes, for years.
So thank
Forever.
you.
About time.
Hey, Ryan, way to suck up.
Hey. My chief's here, I got.
Chief taught you that, huh?
Yes.
Mike, you got anything? Anybody else got anything? Okay, moving on. Moving on, cannabis dispensary tax, 0.25. We can only raise so amount for it. It's gonna take 13 years to get there, so, by law. So we might as well put it on now.
3%, ain't it?
Up to 3%. You
Up
can
to.
only-
3%, but you can only do 0.25 every year.
Every year, so it'll take us
Take
12
13 years.
We'll start with that. We just eat half of it and then we'll resell it.
There you go.
We can make it quicker.
Yeah. Yeah, we need a motion.
1/4%.
Yeah,
State one's on the
That's
drug
state
money.
law.
We ain't
But
supposed
we
to
don't
get
have
that.
any dispensaries.
We don't
yet.
have
We
no
might as
dispensary.
well
No,
do
I know that, but
Well,
I didn't know it was a graduated thing.
yeah.
Well, I just got a newsletter from Illinois Department of Revenue saying you can impose a cannabis tax, but you can only do 0.25 per year up to 3%.
I say we do it, but you know, down south, they call this a cartel.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Okay, we need a motion to do
Make it.
that.
Second.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell. Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustees Koviak. Trustee Rear.
Need a motion to adopt the general code ordinance that we have finally got done.
Lot smaller.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Yes.
Only took what, 2 years, Tiff?
yeah, 2 years.
About 6, I think. We need a motion that.
So what it'll do is it adopts all the ordinances
Yes.
that's in it with any modifications that were done.
I make a motion.
All right,
Did you read the whole
I'll
thing?
second. It don't matter.
Did you read the whole thing?
Yes.
Give it to Virgil, he's group here.
You did, read it.
Did you?
You made the motion, you get to read it. Proofreader.
I got one. You got two. Trustee Finley?
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell? Trustee Sheets?
Yes,
Trustee Kubiak?
Yes.
Trustee Weir?
Yes.
And Brian will probably tell you it's gonna be on the website when it goes live. Jared, that Phil? It'll,
I did not. Caught you.
I can tell I just busted you out.
did you doze off? or
It'll go
something?
live on the website as soon as the website goes live here in the next couple days.
But it'll be on, in your guys' email by this evening.
It should be on their computer so they can,
It's a link. They have to access it from the web. but
Now,
It'll be,
they've all changed code numbers and everything too, so.
yeah, but
yeah,
it's,
we're gonna-
it's a simple search. I mean, just by keyword. I mean,
garbage.
Well, we found
type
that,
A and here it is.
actually, we found that to be a problem, Ryan, when we were, something to discuss later, because we were trying to look some stuff up, Lori and I, and the keyword stuff wasn't working very well.
Yeah.
Well, it might be something to just take note of. We can probably get a hold of the company and they may be able to fix that in the back.
Or you guys didn't- or you didn't-
Oh, I seen it.
or you didn't spell it right.
She was typing. MIL.
You get that, you get that, Pat?
Yes.
Okay, so we need a motion to give the power company easement for the sewer plant project and easement Atwood and Lincoln so they can work on their gas main. They already fixed it, but now they need to ask for an easement.
You mean they got a gas line somewhere that never had an easement to?
Nope, it was running through our property.
Think about that.
Yeah. The high pressure main,
For how many years?
all of them.
Bill
How
McPherson.
many years? Because they could go back and charter for X amount.
Well, I mean, the city of Danville owned it originally. And then Herschel got that property back then, that was that railway.
Well, don't do that because Dan will get the money.
Yeah.
Trustee Finley?
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell? Trustee Sheets?
Yes,
Trustee Kubiak?
Yes.
Trustee Weir?
Motion 1523, 1527 Meister, and put it out for bid,
Make motion.
the lots,
What's the minimum? 3?
three grand
1525.
each, yes.
No big deal. Is it 1525?
Yeah, there is a 1525, but somebody else, there used to be a house there and we tore it down. Somebody bought taxes on it. We bought them from the Vermillion County trustee because nobody had bought the taxes on these empty lots. And at least this way we might recoup some of our money.
Can we put that
We
we'll
bought them for
do this at the
$600.
March 17th meeting so we can make sure we get it advertised? and
Yes, yes.
For that to,
You gotta advertise real property for 3 months. So
Yeah.
It's gotta be in the paper, so it'd be March anyway.
March 17th.
It hasn't been transferred yet because they have to wait so long to get.
you skipped 7,
They have to wait so long to get to the-
Imagine Salon over there.
No,
Yeah, it's like 6 months or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it did.
no,
I ain't got
No.
7 on there.
Yeah,
no, that's the easement. That's the one
that's
that he
2
was,
different lines you
I
got.
know, but he did it all as one.
Did both at
He
the
did
same
it
He
as
did it
one?
all as one.
Oh, I guess you did.
Both at the same time.
Okay.
But we ain't got a
Since
vote on
since it was the, you don't have what?
We don't have a vote on it yet, do we?
Yeah, we already voted.
Okay. I was waiting for them all to vote. They was discussing it. Oh, no, you're waiting for Mike's Street and then put surplus property. That's what you're waiting for. You
Right,
might-
I've got a motion by Billy. I need
Okay.
a Second.
You need a second
I need a second for
Second.
the
Lot.
bid for the lot.
for 1523 and 1527?
Mm.
Okay, I'll second it.
Trustee Finley?
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell? Trustee Sheets?
Yeah,
Trustee Kubiak?
Yes.
Trustee Weir?
Yeah, motion to demo 1531 Lincoln.
is that right next to the salon?
Yep.
The power's still on.
Yep,
Finally off.
No, it's on.
it's on.
The air conditioning was running, wasn't it?
It might still be
I think
running.
they've kept it on the whole time. I think it's on a timer.
Oh,
Are we demoing or signage?
Well, we already signed it, I think. You already put the sign on, right?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to condemn it.
Yep.
Put a sign on it.
Just, can you take a picture of it and make sure, and with the
Yeah.
date visible? Because I have
Yeah.
some of the attorneys.
Yep.
Make them, honestly.
Trustee Finley,
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell. Trustee
Right.
Sheets,
Yes.
Trustee Sokoviak,
Yes.
Trustee Weir.
They want to sell one of the laptops. I think Richard already said it's all right with him. Yeah, yeah, that's your problem. They want to sell one of the tough book tablets. It's a laptop, right?
Yeah, one of the laptop,
Okay.
old laptops.
Yeah, from
Fire
the,
department buy
to the
that.
Catlin Police Department for $1,000. I recommend we just donate it to them,
To who?
to Catlin Police Department. Cause they back us up all the time too, so it'd be worth their miles to,
Okay.
so
I'm waiting to see you go like this or like that, yeah.
Oh, maybe,
I.
yeah. Hey, he's boss.
$1,000 is shit.
Caplin's got money.
No, Cap-
Captain's got plenty of money. Taxes.
So,
You're on it. I
I
know.
didn't say
they
it.
drive over here a lot backing us up too. so.
And it's their reputation had to be real good.
They might do it more now.
So what?
Need a motion to donate
I'll make.
to Catlin.
No, no, see if they got a stir it or use.
Second.
Trustee Finley, Trustee Mitchell, Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Sokoviak,
Yes.
Trustee Weir.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do with this then?
Oh, hold on.
Pay estimate 3 and 4 for Curry Construction. 207,180.32. And pay Midwest Asphalt on the, for 234,840.10 on the other project, A and B contracts. Any motion?
Make a motion.
Taking those together.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Trustee Finley,
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell, Trustee Sheets,
Yeah.
Trustee Sokoviak,
Yes.
Trustee Weir.
So on them two items, we affirmed a while back that the mayor has authority to sign as long as the change order is not a positive and it can be a negative. So we need to reaffirm that we have the right to pay the change, the pay request.
Authority to do pay and sign paperwork for sewer plant work.
Hold on, let me get this
Contract
in.
A and B.
Authority.
I'll second that.
We done this once.
First.
Yeah, we did twice now.
Okay, so the engineers emailed me about paying one time and I said, well, I need to discuss, board meeting, and he's like, no, you
We're
don't.
giving him authority if they need to get a pay done.
As long as it's not a positive,
As
you
long
say?
as it's not, if it has to be an add-on, it has to be brought to the board.
Well, and they're having me make these payments, but he said we don't have to get them approved because it's a loan. We've already approved the whole project. That's what the engineer told
Just,
me.
and just like,
We're
we
just
don't
gonna-
need to say any
Well, I'm just
announcements
saying.
or.
Well, I just. really-
Positive, positive only, huh? Positive,
If there's a plus.
well,
on the
positive
contract,
plus, yeah.
We got, I'm bringing it to the board.
We're just
If there's an add-on to any project, we gotta bring it to the board.
This,
I think he wants to.
If
you
it's just a
sign a
normal
neg,
pay request, I can
Yeah.
pay for it.
I got it first. Trustee Finley,
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell, Trustee Sheets,
yes.
Trustee Sokoviak,
Yeah.
Trustee Weir.
Ryan?
Just got an email at 4:35 this afternoon on our website. It's technically live, but if you Google tiltonil.com, you won't see the website yet because it takes 24 to 48 hours for the background stuff to point the website to the new one. But everything's been transitioned over. I just want to take a quick second. We made a few more. That's not what I wanted. That's the old website. Few more, we made a few other adjustments to it. It's still being built. It's built, but there's still updates that to be done. And probably in the next 5 months, I'll be still putting information up there that we want to add for current. But one of the two big things that we changed, well, 3 really. Obviously now the code of ordinances are right here. You can click it and it'll open to the website. Public Works, service requests were held on a third-party form that wasn't always reliable. It's now held within the website. They can click the button. It'll open it up. They can fill out the service request form, indicate what the service is for, give a little information, and once they hit submit, it'll land in TJ's inbox instantly. And he can log on and see that and go from there. Another big update that we got on there was on the police side was the ordinance complaint, also held on a third party form. Not always reliable. That's now housed within the website. So they can go on there. Obviously, it instructs them that if this is a 911 emergency, do not fill the form out and expect an officer to show up on your front porch, right? I know people will probably still do it, but it's fine. They fill out the information. There's complaint, preset complaint items in here, and I'll be working with the police department. We can adjust those as possible. You will have access to that. I will show you how to do all that, and then you can make adjustments. Whereas it's just, I just pop that in there for now, and then we can go from there. Also working, we got to get updated photos of everybody. One, because our wall needs updated. Two, compared to our old website, they have a nice platform where we can put people's photos in there, and it just looks a lot more professional. For instance, I can show you this one. It looks a little like this. And but it's a lot. It's easier to look, and for somebody that, like for us, that has a lot of people, you can search somebody's name and it'll bring it up. At some point, we can go in here and put more, and you can put a little bit more about that individual if you wanted to. The beauty of it is that each one of these people will have their own access to the website, and once we get more progressive down the road, the police department can house in their group, kind of like a employee database, you want to say, where the officers can log on, and it's the only thing that they can see is the officers can only see that. Nobody else can see it. And Phil can put personnel forms on there, like vacation requests or anything along the lines of that. But they can access that within there and log it into the website and doing that. That'll all come down the road. And that'll be for everywhere. So Butch, Richard, TJ, each one of your departments will have the ability of doing that for your people. We have unlimited users. And so if you want something that you can kind of collaborate with just your people, and they can log in and they can see that and they can pull that information off. There's more forms, and the ability of doing everything on this website is 100 times better than what we had. The idea is bringing information to our residents as quickly and efficiently as possible. We now have the ability to add alerts to the website. So if you access the website at any point, we can put an alert out there and it will pop up before they see anything, as well as the group cast, which all of us sitting here should have got that this afternoon or this morning, maybe. I don't remember when I sent it. Just reminding you of the board meeting. We're still in the works of trying to work a little kinks out with the provider, but they'll be able to go to this alert notification. That'll open up a window for them to sign up for that and which messages they want us to receive. And at any point, we send out emergency alerts on natural disasters or anything about board meetings or events, public events. They'll receive that phone call, text message, email, and a post to social media. And we can do all four. We can do one. It doesn't matter. We just pick which ones we want to do. So maybe more urgent messages could receive a phone call, whereas just minor ones can send out a text or an email. Upcoming events will be listed here. Again, each one of the departments will have their ability to go in there and add their own events. It's going to be a process to get everybody trained on how to do it. It's simple, but you just got to be walked through how to do it. It was a long training, trust me. The idea, we are streaming live tonight. It'll be a section on there where citizens will be able to go and click. Tonight was kind of our test run. We know what we're doing now. They can click live stream the village board meeting. They'll be able to watch it. And we can do that for any meeting we have if we want to offer that as a live stream ability, right? News section like before, but it just looks a lot more professional. But so keeping in mind now that this will be live probably by, I would say this weekend, you'll be able to Google tiltonil.com. It'll bring the new platform up. Each one of your departments, I will be now knocking on your doors and sitting down with you guys, updated photos. I have a lot of updated photos already. But information like, for example, Butch, if you have stuff for the personnel that, would be a quick link for them to access, we could add that stuff in there real quick. And then you could just direct them instead of them, hey, Butch, can you email me that? You're like, no, you just go to tiltonil.com and there's a link on there and they can follow that, maybe how to renew your CE hours
So
or
we'd be able to put
ninth frame.
like an application on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the Village of Tilton could have their application because they were using ours.
Yes. Yeah, so you can put your application on there and we can set it up and it'll go directly to your inbox, to your email. And then you can log on there and you can pull it off that way too, but it'll send it in your email. TJ, I tested one the other day with TJ, just a service request, and he got it. But you'll be able to do any of that. And that's just a form. It just takes a little time to set that up and we could sit down and figure out what you want on there and we can launch that immediately. And same with Richard, you could do the same thing. But essentially that's where it's at. You'll click on some of the stuff. It's still being updated. Obviously my hope train so that start handling your own departments. Obviously I'm not.
Pretty lucky, Virgil, ain't you? Is it?
Pardon me?
Pretty lucky, ain't you?
I'm not gonna just like close my laptop and never look at this again and never do the website, but the hope is that as a team, we can update this together.
Yes.
And bring information quickly and reliable information to our citizens. One last thing I want to highlight before I turn it over is that's not what I wanted. Board meeting and informations on agendas, meetings and agendas. People can now subscribe to this document, what they call as a document bank. So you can come in here and fill out, it's going to look a little weird for me because I'm an admin, but they can put their email and what kind of email type do they want. They just want a text that says, hey, that somebody uploaded a document, or the actual document, it'll lay the document in the email. And you can tell it how frequently you want it. If you want it to tell you just only when something's updated, or if you want a daily reminder. We do it once a month, right, for the agendas and the minutes. So when they subscribe for that, anytime Lori goes in and puts her updated agendas or minutes, it'll go to their inbox. And so people on the board, you guys can always do that too if you want to know the agenda prior to coming up here to get it out of your folder, right? And then obviously the meeting schedule is listed on this tab here. Other than that, we're still kind of chugging along, but it will be up and operational for everybody. Open to suggestions, especially the people that work in the village. If you guys see something you want that's accessible to residents or maybe for yourself, just holler and we can figure it out. So that's really all I got.
Thanks, Ryan, for putting all that effort into it.
That's a lot of work.
It was a long, drawn out process.
Yeah, that was a lot of work.
Emails, a lot of phone calls, but we're getting, and then the top tab here, Facebook, Twitter. We don't update Twitter, but I mean, somebody wants to by means take over the Twitter page, go ahead.
I think I give 2 pages up a while ago.
Yeah, YouTube, and we have an Instagram, believe it or not, but nobody does that either. And then they can send a direct email out to everybody. But I have a nice camera, so we just need to work collectively to come up with a day that we can all come up to City Hall throughout the day, throughout a week, and get actual photos taken of us that are nice, that we can get posted up here, especially so we can get rid of this section like this. And we can make it look like this, right? So it's still work in progress, but I want it to all look like this, and it's just nice and clean. Right?
Yeah, we're gonna change some.
Yeah, that was 14 years ago.
So we do have a for topic. So they're next to Great Community Church. They're looking to get the building next to it.
And never
Chris Kroll, he's a Tilton resident.
Not that apartment building there? That apartment building?
Yeah. Yeah, so they're looking to move into there and have that as a photography area.
Well, so we might have to reach out to him to see what he,
I'm gonna say, oh, he does amazing.
see what he could do to.
Oh, that's cool.
so he could-
Virgil.
It's gonna be, it's gonna be.
That mine
He
was
can make us all look,
2001.
he can make us all look beautiful, so
Yeah,
that-
right.
Wow.
Mine was 2001,
Maybe we should all
wasn't
take
it?
some.
Oh,
John Molesky.
Don Molesky took mine.
He took mine too.
Yeah, that's been a long time.
I had my picture taken, and somebody came up and said, smile, and I said.
Virgil, you got anything?
What's the status on that Brentwood? We heard from that woman and she,
Not yet.
No,
They're
and,
trying to evict him, but
yeah,
nothing yet.
not yet. They won't answer the door and then.
Have they paid the ordinances,
I don't think so.
violations?
I haven't heard back from the village or the city.
Yeah. No. We're gonna
Every
talk.
time I call and ask something, they just keep,
Oh, yeah, of course.
just wait, you get the.
Afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get the information here pretty quick.
Yeah. That's about all I got right now.
Got anything, Bob?
We got the one fire truck listed.
Yes.
Yeah, on, what site was that?
I don't know what site they put it on.
Fire truck, wasn't it?
What ended up going on?
Yeah, got it listed on there, so.
Yeah, he sent it all off, I know.
Hey, from what I hear, just out of curiosity, seeing how we're so generous around here, somebody help me out here. Isn't there a station that's needing a fire truck, but it got wiped out or something?
I don't know. I know there was some in Kentucky.
It'd be down in Kentucky.
Tornado.
Am I correct though?
There's a fire department down there that wiped out the station and took all their fire trucks out.
There's a
For donation.
Maywood or something,
There
wasn't it?
was somebody, one department's already donated a fire truck to them. I could have just seen that, but I don't remember what town in Kentucky it is.
I think it's May something, Maywood, Mayfield,
or
something like
maybe-
that.
I don't
Would
remember.
anybody be against checking something like that out?
Good idea.
what commission or do we have to pay them for this website? Is there a commission?
There is, but.
Yeah, they were gonna email us all this information.
I just wonder.
And then,
So we don't get any hits for a month, go ahead and say we look for that town and see what they need.
Okay, yeah, but I remember hearing something about it, I didn't know. what the-
They lost everything, hose, they lost gear, they lost everything. It was a total shambles. I'll see if I can't find it.
Okay.
And
the other thing, if they have insurance and they do get new vehicles, it takes a year.
It'll take good,
Yeah.
good for you to build a fire truck.
Yes, I mean, it's between everything,
The
so.
only way they're gonna get them quick is by demos.
Well,
Yeah,
the thing of it is, that's how little departments work anyway. I mean, I don't care if it's another state or whatever, but if we ever ended up with a.
It would suit them
situation
good
like that,
because, we're leaving all the hoses on it. We got air packs on it that are past hydrostat testing, but they're still usable. I mean, if that's something the village board wants
Kentucky's
to
law
look
might
into.
be changed anyway.
What's that?
In Kentucky, it might be different than Illinois.
Yeah, probably.
I'm, like I said, I'm just sitting there saying, if we ever had a problem like that, we would sure appreciate someone sending us equipment.
There's a town of Case.
Yeah, Case Volunteer in Fulton County, Kentucky.
Does
It's a
somebody want to get a hold
volunteer.
of them?
It's a volunteer fire department. yeah.
Somebody want to get a hold of
That's
them?
even more business of voluntary, they're not.
Yeah, and everybody's probably.
Ryan, can you copy that link and send it to me or something? If I can't get a hold of
Okay. They gotta drive it back though.
Well,
It comes as is, and they gotta drive it back.
no, we'll get a hold of Carnegie, just take it to them.
You don't do
That's out of my phase. I think we- that
it.
is-
All right, Bob.
Yeah,
We did
I
our,
drive
at community center, we had our Christmas gift wrap. We did 4 nights. First 2 nights were nothing. Then the next 2 nights, we wrapped over 200 presents
Dang.
and we made 2 donations, over $300 for the animal shelter.
What? Pretty good.
So we had one woman who came in and brought 76 presents.
Holy smokes.
Huh?
She buys them all year for kids. She brought,
No, I only brought
you know,
14.
she said, I got a whole bunch. Do you guys want to wrap? We're like, we're sitting here, so it took us about an hour and a half to wrap all of them.
My.
And she gave, I don't know how much, but we had a lot of good donations for it and they appreciated that, the animal shelter. So we're gonna do a little bit different. We're gonna do about the same thing again next year.
Billy?
I have, chief brought it up and I already tried to give away first.
Yeah, anything, Scott? I only got one thing. We got a letter from the city of Danville. And they're gonna revoke all the intergovernmental agreements from every municipality to use their court system in April. So we're gonna be hosting the court here. And, I had a meeting with Dave Westner, early on, which he's already worked for us in Kim Best's office anyway. And then I had a meeting with all the mayors on Friday to try and coordinate stuff. And Dave Westner is gonna send something to me, then send out to all the mayors, and then they can put their input in it, and then we'll get a final resolution to get to the board. So he wants to be set up before the city dissolves.
Before April.
Yeah, before April. So he's kind of thinking maybe March.
If we got him involved, we already set him up.
Yeah, he's already all pretty much set up. So, I mean, he actually done the city court originally, so. But we had some ideas too on our part. And then all the mayors had ideas because the city of Dan was collecting $2. Westwood just got a $2 check from a 2011 case. That was the first payment.
Last month, I think we got a check for $21 maybe.
So we, as the mayor's group, told Dave Westner that, because Dave made a comment was $25, $50, and you got city ordinance fines like that, that ain't putting a hurt on them. So we made a thing that the minimum payment has to be at least $25, period, for each fine.
Yeah,
And then we're gonna raise it up next year.
$2.50.
Yeah, $4 check to send it. So that was one of the recommendations. And the other thing was that we have a Zoom room, and if he has to have a policeman testify, he can do it through Zoom instead of having him in the same place where the defendant's at.
Okay, if he zooms, do we have to pay him?
No, he's gonna be here. Dave will be
He's
here.
talking about the police officer.
The police officer will be able to Zoom instead of being here with him.
That's what I'm saying.
No, we don't have to pay him. We don't have to pay him, they're home. And that's what Dave said. Actually, Dave Western said that anytime they have to come testify, it's overtime.
Dude,
It costs the city more money, so you're raising the court costs more or less. So he even said that. So anything we can accommodate would be great. So I just wanted to let everybody know where we're at. Huh? They need to know that.
Brian, the only guy that does.
Hey, you guys, don't forget your economic statements, okay?
They should be coming in the mail.
You gotta fill them
Your
economic
economic
statements.
statements will be coming in the mail.
oh, yeah, always.
Just bring them up here. I'll take them in.
Yep.
All at the same time.
Wait a minute, you do realize we live in Tilton, right?
Yeah.
We get mail like once a week,
Maybe.
maybe. I about didn't get my insurance this year because by the time I got it, it was due.
Because what's the name?
Yeah,
of it?
that's
It's
bad.
bad.
And
That's
people in
happening.
Florida already had theirs 3 days in advance, and they got mail through Danville.
My cable bill's that way.
Danville's just about as bad. My daughter got a,
So we're all going.
2 weeks ago, she sent the tuition and stuff to Ohio. The fraternity house that he lives in ain't got a check.
Any motion adjourned, guys.
Make a move. There.
Trustee Finley? Trustee Mitchell? Trustee Sheets?
Yep.
Trustee Westcoviac?
Yes.
Trustee Weir?
Yeah.
I don't have the names on there.